In this video, we're going to be covering another SQL question. This is question number 1280 of Leetcode. Basically, we're going to be talking about group by in a lot more detail in this one. This is students and examinations. We have a students table with student underscore ID and student underscore name. Primary key is the student ID. So this is basically student ID and the student name. Another table, which is the subjects, it does have a subject underscore name, and that's the only field we have in this one. Subject name is also the primary key. We have another column, examinations, where the student ID is there and the subject name is there. So a person can take that exam of that course or subject however many times. There is no primary key of this table, and each student from students table take every course from tables subject table. Basically, order the number table. Okay, what? I think no. The query is result format. Okay, where does it say write the query? Not really. Okay, over here, write an SQL query to find the number of times an each student attended each exam. So this examination is gonna tell us that this student ID took the exam of this subject. So if we have these four students and we have these three subjects, these entries in the examinations table are telling me that student with ID number 1 took maths, student with ID number 1 also took the exam of physics, then programming, then physics again, then maths again, then maths again. So if we look at the math and the student 1, he took he he had 3 tries or attended exams 3 times, so on and so forth, right? So again, these are the number of times they took the exams, and pretty straightforward. We are let's just in terms of the solution, what we are doing is like we are taking the students, right? ID, student ID. We can also say that the students is ST and it is joining with SU, and the examinations is E. Then this will make it the things which we want to return is the student dot student ID, the student dot student name, the subject dot subject name, this one, and the count of the examinations dot student ID, which is going to be this one, as is we're just changing the name of the field. From the student ID, joining this one on everything. So basically you are taking the whole student and the subjects and you are joining one on one, so every single thing is gonna get joined. This is gonna be joined with, basically if you look here, this is gonna be joined. This is gonna have 3 entries, one for math, one for physics, one for programming. Bob is gonna have 3 entries, one for math, one for physics, one for programming, so on and so forth. Then we are doing another left join, right? Sorry, this time we're going to be doing a left join so that even if he did not take an exam, he should show up in here. So that's why we are doing a left join on uh, students dot student ID and subjects dot subject ID, which is students dot student ID is equal to examinations dot student ID, and subject dot student subject name is equal to examination dot subject name. If you are not used to of this one, you can also write that st dot student ID is equal to e dot student ID and su dot subject name equals to e dot subject name, which basically both of these things has the same meaning. This is like you can assign multiple arguments, multiple respective values, or you can do them individually. Okay, then we have, this is the thing I definitely wanted to cover. So by default, okay, so we have been grouping it by the student ID and then student name and then the subject name. And we are going to be ordering basically means we need to order them by student ID. If they are equal, then order them by the subject name. But the group by is like there are three things which you are grouping by. The group by basically means that you want them to be grouped by one field. So we want them to be grouped by the student ID first, right? And then we want them to be grouped by the student name, and then we want to be grouping them by the subject name. In case if you remove one of this one, it's gonna fail and it's gonna throw an error at you. That this is basically mean that by default, you if you have one group by, you can actually, because the group by is used when you are grouping by a field and you are aggregating or summing up or doing some kind of count on it on some other variable. So one group by normally expects two things as to be selected. If you are grouping by two things, you can actually output those two things and another count or aggregate or sum or average or anything like that. And if you are grouping by three things, you can return these three things as we did: student ID, student name, and subject name, and one count. If you remove one of these group by, it's gonna throw an error at you. If unless there is a way actually you go in the SQL command line and then you tell him that make the group by like the group global, or like basically you make that flag silent, and then it's gonna let you run through it. But normally it always is expecting, group by is expecting, if you the number of fields you're gonna be putting in the group by, it is expecting all those fields in here and one aggregation function, maybe average, sum, or count, or anything like that. That's all I wanted to cover in this video. Thanks for watching.